This is the Corsa Xtreme catback exhaust system with the side exit configuration and polished tips, and it is available for all 2021 and newer 5-liter powered F-150s. Now, you should be checking out the Corsa if you want to be heard in your V8 powered truck, and you want to go with something that will deliver both a premium build quality and great fitment. Now, the Made in the USA Corsa will utilize a 304 grade stainless steel build throughout, complete with the dual polished tips and the factory style exit, all for right around the $1,200 to $1,300 price point. All right, with pleasantries out of the way, let's get down to business here at the Corsa. And listen guys, if you're looking for one of the loudest, if not the loudest catback systems currently available for your V8 powered F-150, the Xtreme from Corsa is definitely gonna be the system for you. As you guys just heard with our sound clips at the top of this video, this thing delivers in the tone and volume category and is gonna peg the Wake the Neighbor scale at a solid 5 out of 5 on my 1 to 5 or 1 to Wake the Neighbor scale. Now, under full boogie guys, this thing absolutely sings, but you also have to keep in mind that Corsa does a great job of really taming things down here when you're not on the throttle, and that's thanks to the reflective sound cancellation technology that allows this thing to really scream on the outside of the truck, and I mean scream. But again, it is completely drone free and actually very pleasant when you're just lugging around town. Now that means inside the cab, yes, when you're flooring this thing, you are absolutely gonna hear it. There's no getting around that. But again, if you're just cruising to church with the wife on a Sunday, you're not really beating on the truck, this thing can be tamed down pretty good. But let's move away from the sound and talk about construction and materials. And guys, this really is a premium system through and through. And as a result, yes, you will be paying a little bit more for it, but we'll talk about that here in a bit. Now, this system does include quality US sourced 304 grade stainless steel here from tip to tip. And that is for the 3-inch mandrel bent tubing leading into and out of this tiny little muffler. Look at this thing. It is so small, but that is straight through by design, allowing for all of that sound. Finally, everything is going to exit out of the twin polished tips here in the factory location. So again, it is going to deliver a little bit more of a modified look, I'd say, with the twin tips. But again, expect things to end up in that same location behind your passenger side rear tire. That being said, Corsa does also offer a few different configurations here on the site. For instance, they do that cab exit design, so it puts it in front of that rear tire. I like that look. Kind of gives you that lightning vibe of the old school days. Or they also do a dual exhaust system. So if you currently have just kind of a boring single, you want to do dual tips out the back, they can give you that system as well. It is also available here on the site, but just know that system is going to cost you a little bit more due to the added material. Finally guys, the Corsa that we have on the table with us here today, as you can see, all of your hangers are pre-welded in the factory location, and Corsa does include all of the clamps needed for a pretty painless install. Moving into price point, and as I mentioned earlier, it is a premium system, so therefore expect to pay a little bit more money for it at the end of the day, landing you around that $1,200 to $1,300 ballpark range. That being said, it is a pricier single exhaust system on the site. However, it is still a bit less when compared to other similar single exit systems, whether it be from AWE, MagnaFlow, or even Borla. Similar materials, of course, similar layout. However, the Corsa will cost you a little bit less while still delivering a lot more volume if that's what you're looking for. All right, last but not least, let's get into the installation, and you are looking at a 100% bolt-on job here, guys, making this very easy in the garage or driveway for you. Site's gonna call it a strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and about maybe 2 hours or so to get in place from start to finish. Now, to give you a better idea of how this one might go down at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you will need various impacts, various length extensions, 10, 13, and 15 millimeter sockets, in our case a 17 millimeter wrench, a hanger removal tool, and also not shown here is a pole jack and an extra set of hands. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing an exhaust on our F-150, but before we get started we're going to send you to watch a quick video on how to remove your factory system, and we'll see you when you get back.
Start by grabbing your 13 millimeter socket and undoing the 2 bolts at the flange. Next, take your exhaust hanger removal tool and get the muffler out of the isolator. Next, we're going to slide our exhaust towards the tail end so we can get them out of the 2 additional hangers. And then we're going to drop the whole exhaust as a full. I grabbed a buddy to help me out with that.
Alright guys, welcome back. Now that we have our factory setup off, it's time to start installing our new system. Now the first thing we're going to do is install our 2-bolt flange section. It's going to go right onto our factory flange. We're going to reuse our factory hardware to put that on. Now I do have a pull jack to help me hold this in place. It's pretty handy. We get one of our bolts through, then we get the other one on. This side on. We're just going to get these hand tight for the time being because we want to be able to adjust as needed. Now we're going to get our compact resonator muffler section on. Now you will be able to tell which side's the bottom because the outlet side is going to have a small weep hole. You want that facing down so condensation doesn't build up in your muffler. So we've got our provided clamp. We're going to get that over our slip joint. We'll get this in place. Gets all the way seated. Next, we're going to get our midsection in. So once again, we'll grab a provided clamp, get that over our slip joint. We're also going to line our new hanger up with our factory isolator and get our slip joint onto our muffler outlet. We'll make sure that's lined up first. This being rubber, it's pretty flexible. Get this into our slip joint. That gets fully seated. Next, we're going to get our over axle and tail section in place. So we're going to send this over our axle. Now, one thing to note is we do have the factory isolators on our hangers. Sometimes it is a bit easier to do that, especially if you already took them off. If so, you just need to pop those on where they were from the factory ones. Send this over. We're going to get our provided clamp. Get this lined up. Isolator in position. In our case, we're going to reinstall that 10mm bolt. Now we'll get our isolator back in, get our 10mm bolt back in with our 10mm socket. Now we'll get our rear isolator back in. We're just going to put the 10mm bolts back in. Same thing with our 10mm socket. Now it's hard to see, but you also have the one inside the frame rail. Very easily accessible. Now we're going to install our tips. So we've got our final provided clamp. We'll slide that over our slip joint on our tips. Get this in place. Now you have some adjustability here, whether you want these to poke out a little bit. We're going to run ours pretty flush with our body. I want those to line up nice and even as possible. And this does have a slight taper, so you can match that if you'd like. We'll get that to sit. Now we're going to come back in and tighten down all of our clamps with our 15mm socket on our impact. Now we'll tighten down our mid pipe to our over axle, again with our 15mm socket. Now we'll tighten down our muffler outlet and inlet, again with our same 15mm socket. Now you want to tighten up the 2 bolts at your flange evenly. Now ours are not the original hardware, so we're going to use a 15mm socket, an extension, and a 17mm wrench to tighten ours. Doing this at home, you want to use your 13mm socket. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our Corsa Performance Xtreme Single Exhaust System with twin polished tips and side exit for your 21 to current 5-liter F-150, excluding the Tremor. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.